Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. We've got... So, actually, quick bit of housekeeping before we get started. This is the last set of Ottoman episodes that we're going to end up having before the end of the current patch, at which point the save is extremely likely to break. So this run is unfortunately going to come to an end. It's been a great time, but we're getting into the 1960s. We're well beyond when the game is supposed to end, so you know. So we're gonna this episode and probably 3 more after it. We'll see how many I end up getting done today. But that's where we are. We did some expansion in Northern Europe, and Poland is our protectorate at this point. I'm thinking about reducing their autonomy, but I won't necessarily do that right now immediately, because we're focusing on this situation going on here in Austria. Unfortunately, we have a truce with Austria-Hungary. Right, so we can't step in until the end of the year, at which point the war will have already started. And nothing... They're not in the interest. Okay, so never mind. We're not going to involve ourselves in that. So at this point, what do we want to do? There's still a war going on in Spain, and that's just started. Other than that, we're continuing to become more friendly with the French Republic because they're an actual republic. Parliamentary republic, universal suffrage, they do cooperative ownership, but that's, you know, those things happen. Germany is interventionist. They're a parliamentary republic with a single-party state, but they've got a massive movement for universal suffrage. I can't imagine having a movement this size and not going for it. So, you know, we'll see how that goes. We'll see what they do. So, let's see. We've got about 19.5 in the infamy pot. So I think we could grab... nope, can't grab Darfur. Not yet, anyway. Let's see. We have been continuing to expand. We might be able to reduce the autonomy of these two. Yes. Yes, we can. Of our 2 protectorates here. So that's 1.7 infamy for Jodhpur. I'm going to go ahead and confirm that. And very good. And for Bikaner, reduce autonomy, that's going to be 3.0. That's going to put us right on the cusp. So we'll go ahead and do it, and then we'll relax a little bit. We don't need to do any additional conquests. Just move over there so the color reset. Is the color going to reset? Better be resetting. Not quite yet. They'll sort themselves out. So yeah, so at the moment we're just kind of letting things go. What kind of state is Italy? And Italy is a single-party presidential republic. Moving towards protectionism. Not super excited about that. So the rural folk want migration controls. I'm probably going to let that go. It's going to make them mad, but it is what it is. They're headed up by an ethno-nationalist. They will probably... Their chances of bailing out of the government are pretty high in the next election. I wish there was somewhere I could see when the next election is. Because we've had President Mithat Burhan leading the country for a really long time at this point. I think he's been in power since the 40s. Since the middle of the 40s, but I could be wrong. I had no idea that Ceylon was its own country. Are you recognized? You're... I think you are. We could make Ceylon a protectorate. That would be pretty cool. I genuinely had no realization that there was an independent Ceylon over here. And they also have the... I guess this is all one state. I forget the name of this island chain. I think these might be the Sentinels, but these might be the... I'm not sure. I'm not sure. These are part of Pegu, and these are... Yeah, these are part of Ceylon. All right, so my geography has failed me this time. Is Air owned by France? It's not. Where's its capital? Its capital state is up here. No. No. Where's your capital state, Air? Is it this one? This tiny state here? It is. Oh my goodness. That's very funny to me. The Sokoto's got this giant bit here, and then Gao. We've got a lot of fun borders over here. By the way, I've been saying that colonialism kind of failed in Africa, and that's right in some ways, but it's not right in others. Senegal, and Senegal are actually all European states. So blue Senegal here is English, orange Senegal here is Dutch, and purple Senegal here is French. None of these countries are part of their respective... the empires of their respective sort of former overlords, but they are European states. So that's why that's going on. And Italy's got a puppet over Eagle. So Italy has been continuing, and Germany have been continuing to expand over here. So this hasn't. Niger. Oh, Niger is also French. Oh, that's wild. I had no idea about that. Yeah, things are odd over there for sure. Well, look at this. We got something going on in Brazil. Let's look at a capitalist revolt in Hyderabad. This is interesting. We could try to get another protectorate this way. Try to grab some territory, but let's take a look at what's going on in Brazil. So this is Brazil versus Peru, Bolivia. And what's this about? This is another big unify play. And they're going for a treaty port in Tarapacá, which is down here. Curious. And they've got the support of Colombia. So Brazil's probably going to win that. We'll see kind of how that goes. Brazil's not super happy towards us. What? They're an agrarian parliamentary voting... landed voting parliamentary republic. I feel like you guys could be friends with us. I don't currently have the influence to improve relations with them, so unfortunately I can't do that. But you know, we'll see. All right. Hyderabad's in a half and half situation. So let's see if I can get. I can only get an obligation from them. I could. Okay, so I could get a protectorate over Hyderabad itself if they become a subject. I don't have any guarantee that they'll win, but I could bankroll them. So let's go ahead and do that. Good plan. So that's gotten their help, and I'm just going to validate that I in fact cannot. Okay, I can't deploy the 8th Turkish Army over there. So yes, on account of not being able to reach the zone. Bengal is actually now a minor power. Okay, hold on. Just let me just see. Okay, 120 infamy, not going to happen. But I just had to check. I just had to see just how much infamy it would be if I took them over, because my friends, that would be really, really funny. Gwailor, Mawar, Awad, and the Wad are still British puppets. And then Bhopal, Bastar, and Orissa are all independent, with Hyderabad having just been joined by me. Oh, Bhopal also controls this tiny treaty port here. That's fun. And Travancore is a... Oh, they are a Hindu state. Oh, but they're a puppet of the United States. That's what's keeping them independent. Alright, so, let's see. Looks like the rebel Austro-Hungarians are winning. So we'll see how that affects things. We also have a capitalist revolt in Siam, which again we don't have any access to, but could potentially involve ourselves in. If we wanted to grab another another friend here. The rebels, unfortunately, will not accept our help, and the government is just not likely to win, and without the ability to intervene, there's not much we can do. So we'll stay out of that for the time being. And indeed, going forward, we will stay out of it. So let's see. That's right, that's East Africa. We're almost done. It's Lithuania. That's right. That's right. And we're still working on annexing Lithuania because that will help us fix the whole industrial situation over there, which has gotten really, really rough on account of low standard of living. I am still bankrolling Japan, and I intend to keep it that way. This is costing us a small amount of cash, but it's actually really, really worth it, in my opinion, to be building up their economy, because Japan has an absolutely massive economy that has huge growth potential. Japan has a population of 38 million, so there's a lot of growth potential there. The Gargantuan. Ali Koshale of the Industrialists is determined to sponsor the construction of a memorable ocean liner in the shipyards of Castamonio. It will be like nothing ever seen before. The majesty, the perfect reflection of the light against its 4 black funnels, was sufficient to itself. A number of us who enjoyed the crisp air were promenading about the deck. There is a sense of emptiness that comes over us at evening. The kids stood silent. We couldn't even talk after that. The ship, the sunset, and the shameless dream of the future crystallized. People will talk about the luxury of the ship, 10% prestige. We should make its construction more efficient, 33% shipyard throughput. We have no time to allow for a maniac's delusions. This makes Pops more radical. Okay, so this is... Okay, I'm hoping that because we're here in the Middle East, and that Kastamonu is on the Black Sea, that there will not be any kind of glacial, any kind of ice formation that breaks up this ship. I'm going to say that people will talk about the luxury of the ship. So we're gonna see how that goes. I'm hoping nothing bad happens to the Gargantuan, because if something bad happens to the Gargantuan, and then 30 years later it's memorialized in a Leonardo DiCaprio movie, that would make me very sad. So we'll see how that goes. Let me see. Indore is a potential state we could go for a protectorate over. But I think we can wait until they have a rebellion, because a lot of these states have rebellions. And that's something we can tolerate. Oh, that's right. We're also holding on to Java and Brunei, which we could turn into puppets. Java is an interesting animal because they're actually quite a large and powerful state. We got this movement towards mass conscriptions, radicalizing some people, but I'm actually not super concerned about that at the moment. However, with our funding being where it is, I think we can definitely afford to increase the size of the armed forces. And in this case, I think I'm going to create an army. So we'll put this one be based in Arabia. We'll grab some leaders here. So this is an arrogant pillager communist. That's fine. Bigoted pillager cocaine addict. Very good. And then we've got Imperious and Open Terrain Commander. So those are pretty good so far. So we'll start with some mechanized infantry. Where have we got labor available? Not a lot of places. I thought I wasn't at all going to have a hard time with this, but apparently I am. You know, we'll build barracks kind of all over. We got some available in Middle Egypt. Some in Somalia as well. Cool. Alright, so that should be a decent enough. Yeah, we'll go up to a nice even 30. And then we'll do 15 levels each of heavy tanks and light tanks. And we'll put those in Ankara, Vendagar, Kastamonu, and then the light tanks we'll get from Yarki Kajmi, Isfahan, and Tabriz. That'll be a nice solid expansion. And after that, I think it's going to be time to build some new railways. So we'll just look at where we are with infrastructure in each of our states and plan accordingly. Probably didn't. Yeah, that's fine. Generally, when I'm building up infrastructure, I set a target. So in this case, my target is 60. Although that's throwing... My numbers are going to be thrown all off by the fact that I'm mostly on diesel trains at this point. So, you know, we're just kind of eyeballing it at this point. Alright. Beautiful. So that should be plenty of space to build up. It does appear that Hyderabad, the government, is winning in Hyderabad. So I'm pretty happy about that. Are we mostly in diesel trains at this point? We're not. Somehow I thought... Okay, what if we fully went to diesel trains? That's right, I need to actually do the math manually. So, it'll be 10 oil times about 450, so about 4.5 thousand oil. We got a lot of buy orders, actually. Mostly because we're using diesel engines for our motor industries. But I think it would still be useful. On the other hand, do I need to? I am building up a bunch of these. And I think that's the right call. Maybe we'll wait. Maybe we'll just wait. I don't need to be in a rush here. I absolutely don't need to be in a rush. Southern African Proletarian Revolt, that's happening over here. I don't need to concern myself with that whatsoever. Nyamwezi I could turn into a puppet. A mournful disaster. After the monumental Gargantuan left the shipyards of Kastamonu, it wasn't long until tragedy awaited her as part of her halt collided with an equally imposing iceberg. An iceberg! Here in the Black Sea! As I was put into the boat, he cried to me, "It's all right, little girl, you go. I will stay." As our boat shoved off, he threw me a kiss, and that was the last I saw of him, before safely reuniting with him in Crimea. Because, again, we're off of the Black Sea. This is a tragedy. So what does this do? This gives us a prestige penalty, and makes some pops in Kastamonu more radical. Drat! This has cost us some prestige. But that's alright. These things happen. Peru, Bolivia is in a rebellion. That's going to significantly make the revolt much, much harder to deal with. Okay, I can't turn them into a protectorate, but it would be really funny if they did. Yeah, bad time to have a fascist rebellion while we're at war with while you're at war with Colombia and Brazil. Gotta say, I don't recommend it. 0 out of 10. Return state play in Indonesia. This is the British Republic going after Maguindanao, which is where? Over here. I feel like I could fight Great Britain. I could go for grabbing a another protectorate in Indonesia. How about it, Maguindanao? They would do it. I would have to fight Britain, but I could do it. So let's see. Yeah, I actually feel extremely able to win that war. So, you know, let's do it. Austria wants a trade agreement? Sure. Beautiful. Mobilize the armies. There is a front. So let's go ahead and throw the Ramelli Ordosu on there. Again, this is only against Great Britain at the moment. I really don't feel a strong need to go really wild with this. We are going to put our fleets in the ocean near Britain, and we'll get Hassa Ordosu starting up a naval invasion when the time comes. Oh, actually, we have a front down here that I could leverage. Let's put the Anadolu Ordosu over here. Completely forgot that British Congo is part of Britain. I know. An easy mistake to make, but yeah, and we'll put the 6th Turkish Army down there. No, we'll station the 6th Turkish Army in the Tripoli HQ, and that's basically so that they can move into, we're going to invade probably Ireland. Is Ireland... Okay, Ireland is at least partially incorporated. So that's fine. And this is Austria now. So once again, they are a single-party state parliamentary republic. Yeah, they're doing real fascism. It's not great. Are you guys doing universal suffrage yet? You're not. Germany, you're done. Germany, enable suffrage, you fools. Alright, so... Denmark up against an Iwi uprising. It's going to be somewhere in Africa, but I'm not sure exactly where. Here. That'll be fine. I think that's... The United States will be in on that. Yeah, okay, so they're fully mobilizing. But, again, I don't think they actually have the capacity to fight us in a real combat. So I think we'll be just fine. We're going into a war with Britain. Let's get a little bit more, There's Glory to the Queen. Nice. I like that song. It's a little bit more upbeat. And no one else has joined. 2 arms. So, we'll go ahead and naval invade Ulster with Hassa Ordosu. Confirm that, get that army on the way. We are fighting here. We are actually attacking over a strait. And for sure winning. They've got some mechanized infantry, but they've also got some trench infantry and old school shrapnel artillery. So I think I can be extremely confident in our ability to win this. They are sending the majority of their... They're sending all of their armies. Heck. Well, I mean, if they're doing that, we might as well invade Britain with the 9th Turkish Army. And then I'm going to put the 6th Turkish Army down here, because it seems like that's where they're going. Seems like that's where they're sending these armies. Again, not hyper-realistic to have a completely, complete transparency in troop locations, but, you know. Alright, successful naval invasion. Wonderful. And we are already taking over bits of Ireland, so that should be fine. We should have Britain fully occupied pretty soon. And there's the capitalist revolt in Hyderabad completed. Yep, these armies are all going to the front in Asia, which we have just closed out. So that means they're on their way back to the British Isles, but hopefully I'll be able to get there before I'll be able to get my armies into the action before things pop off. There's a Danish proletarian revolt happening before they get troops back. It all depends on the speed of this sea battle here and how long it takes the rest of these units to get their way back to Britain. I have an undefended front, but where? The Congo... Oh, it's here. I don't have any access to that front, so that's just going to have to kind of be what it is. I can just win this battle. I'll send another fleet there. Okay, I don't think I'm going to be able to catch... to get all of Britain invaded before Britain's army gets back, but we'll see. Dominican bourgeois revolt. That's just fine. We'll grab the 8th Turkish army, and we'll put them over there to deal with that. We lost a general, Ismet Balyan. So let's just make sure we don't have any... Okay. Romelli Ordosu needs a new general. We can promote this guy. And we'll promote this guy too. And is this guy level 1? No, he's level 3, so that'll be fine. Alright, so with this army pushing forward, let's see how that goes. Britain does have war support protection because we're not holding their capital at the moment. So let's go ahead and grab our other army and just invade Wales with Hassa Ordosu and see if we can get that going. See if we can complete another landing. Because we're invading with a much smaller army over here than we are in over here. That's unfortunate. We're still... We got 2 battles happening. These are probably going to both be losses for us, but we're continuing to move forward. Scotland is offering to support us against the Dominican bourgeois revolt. I don't require your assistance, Scotland, with that. Constantine Ordosu, why don't you... Actually... I'm going to put 6th Turkish army in Ireland so that I can scramble them in if we get into a situation where we're actually winning one of these assaults. Exchange for transferring Lithuania. No thanks, Scotland. I don't need your help against a tiny island, Scotland. I don't really feel like I'm off base here. I feel like it's pretty straightforward what's going on in this situation. I am sinking a ton of enemy convoys. Yeah, they do have a large army here, so I think it's going to be... It's going to be hard to actually land, but hopefully I can threaten them enough. Maguindanao also has war support protection. So if we white peace, that really won't necessarily be a problem. They're not able to get their... Because they only have the 1 fleet. They're really not able to get their fleet over here because we keep... We're fighting it. We're keeping it locked down in the English Channel. So as long as we continue to keep their fleet locked down in the English Channel, they won't be able to do anything. We'll be just fine. We'll be sitting pretty. The United States is having another Ashanti uprising, which they seem to keep doing. Revolt happening in Australia, none of my business there. And another revolt in Sikkim, which I also don't have any interest in. Two arms. Yeah, I don't know why or actually, I think there's something involving these states. Like, I think I get a hold of this one, and I also get occupation over here. But I don't know about that front. I don't know what's actually going on with that front. So, let's see. They are winning over here against Hassa Ordusu. Yeah, again, none of my individual fleets are large enough to actually carry one of my largest armies. So I think that's just kind of generally been why naval invasions have not been successful for me. But that's alright. These things are known to happen. Yeah, Britain is actually losing war support at a really significant speed now. 2.65 per day, per week. Surprisingly, though, alright, so now the front is over here. So now I'm going to put my army there, and I think that's going to do that same thing. So I'm holding some of their core territory, but I think I need to actually be holding the capital in order to be able to properly attack here. They are actually panicked retreating, but I think the strength ratio being what it is, I can't necessarily win this battle such as it is. But I'll keep watching it. I could still win, theoretically. If I just carefully maneuver, and they panic retreat for long enough, I could still theoretically win the battle. Look at this. I've done 4,000 casualties to them against 400 of mine. The retreat mechanic is sometimes quite silly. Santo Domingo is in default. That's not a shocker. Yeah, you still do kind of have the tail. Alright, so we were not able to naval invade, but I can grab another army. I can grab the 6th Turkish Army. They are going to have a shortage of... they're going to have a strength penalty on account of there's too many soldiers for the fleet to transport effectively, but I think I'll still be able to do what I want to do. I might still be able to get some wins. So we're going to the West Country this time. And again, if we can get any... So here's an even... Come on. Come on! I feel... Okay, that's not happening. We got another battle kicking off here. Yeah, no, and that one's not going to be a victory either. Alright, so I think at this point... Our goal is, well, forces are still about even. If I can continue to have success. Actually, is there anything I can do in my mobilization options to increase my capabilities? Oof. This is getting kind of dark. Put flamethrowers in. I've got a lot of oil in the customs union. But again, I think once they hit 0 war support, they'll probably just peace out, and then they'll probably just white peace, and then I'll get to keep what I've taken for values of what I've taken equal to my protectorate. Kill death is alright. We have actually suffered quite a few casualties. But so has Britain. naval invasions are high casualty affairs, so it's not shocking that. Once again, we're winning a naval battle here. All right. It's that funny front again. Yeah, no, unfortunately, we're retreating now. Pressing forward. They've still got a lot of manpower here. The mystery of why the AI thinks taking control of Maguindanao is possible through capitulation, I have no idea, but they do definitely think that. So let's... We actually need another leader in the Anatolo Ordosu. This guy is pretty good. So, Hausa Ordosu is chilling. Let's increase their mobilization options. We'll see if we can get some more extreme ability to win battles here. So that's going to drop their organization significantly, but they're not currently in a fight, so they'll be able to recover significant organization. I think once they do, I'll be able to drop them over there in a naval invasion, and maybe we can get a victory in an invasion. We're still occupying a significant part of the British Republic right now, so I'm feeling overall fairly confident in our ability to win this war. Just going to keep watching Hausa Ordosu's organization here. That's quite a high attack. I could theoretically get luxurious supplies, but that's actually an enormous cost in terms of regular materials. And 10% attack and defense is not... It's a little bit... It's not great. Fascists revolt in Lithuania. We'll grab the 8th Turkish Army and put them on the front. We're at 50% now, so it should be about another month. Before they're ready with all their new supplies and able to fully commit to an assault on Great Britain, on British soil. Just going to make sure we're good to go here. Again, we're going to annex Lithuania basically so that we can restore that, so that we can fix their economic problems, which are really significant. All right. Once again, that goofy front in North Africa, we seem to have somehow gotten across here. So we're continuing to advance relatively quickly. So that's good. Somehow we crossed the French Congo. What a hero. Exactly as planned. They do have an army headed this way, but I'm hoping we can make the coast and get everything there is to take. Yeah, here we go. So now we're over there and we got supply in there. So that should be fine. Alright, 83% organization. I think that's going to be enough. Naval invasion. Hassa Ordosu. Away. Aggressive campaigning. Bakir Yalaz, following an address where he condemned the Freedom and Accord Party, has begun to mobilize dedicated partisans to oppose it in the election. An unprincipled morass, best served not in parliament but in prison, devoid of positive achievement, a collective self-parody, an embarrassment to the Turkish nation. Down with the Freedom and Accord Party. There's certainly a better alternative. This puts momentum in the hands of the communists, or a pack of miscreants indeed. I'm going to do this first one. Again, we've had the communists in power for a while, and it's been fine. Oh, we're actually successfully landing a force here. Well, that's absolutely wild. I'm excited about that. We are actually completing a landing without a problem. Well, we're going to get progress. So with Hassa Ordosu landing, we'll have a separate naval invasion popping off, and hopefully that will be able to... Or is this Hassa Ordosu? No, this one I think is Hassa Ordosu. But that looks like it's a success as well, so I'm pretty pleased about that overall. 2 arms. So, we're going to win this battle, and then we're going to grab the 8th Turkish Army and put them down here. Actually, we're going to put the Anadolu Ordosu down here, and then we'll be able to do everything we could possibly wish to do. Defamatory article. A newspaper called the East Aegean Islands Herald has printed a bigoted article about the Greek people living there. We can suppress the article, or we can let it be released. He threw the tabloid across the table with a huff. Absolutely vile lies, the lot of it. Alas, that won't matter to those who read it. They'll gobble it right up. He eyed the shocked maid's face, then righted himself. Of course they'd believe it. He hadn't given them proof to the contrary. Suppress it, or ignore it. I'm going to ignore it. It's just a pretty small population. I'm low on bureaucracy now as it is. Alright, so we've got a battle won there. So once we've got another, we'll be good to go over there. And again, we are actually having success in our naval invasion of Britain now. So hopefully we'll be able to get them taken over and get everything we want. Alright, 8th Turkish Army is going to go to this open front here. And hopefully we'll get there in time to man it, and so we won't lose any of our situation in Africa that we've, let's go with, worked so hard to make. Alright, so we got 64% landing progress here. This naval invasion we're at 62%, so I think one more battle for both, and we'll be good to go. So let's grab the Constantinia Ordosu and station them in Ireland, just to make sure that we've got follow-on forces, a sufficiency of follow-on forces, that we won't have a potential problem. Well, yeah, we also got some enemies over here, but none of our puppets are in this war. Which is one of the convenient things about having puppets. They help you defend, but when you're doing something of an aggression yourself, it's not necessarily a problem. So it looks like we are winning both of these battles. So this means a land invasion of Britain by us is imminent. Fascist Lithuania is collapsing even as we speak. Are we a negotiating participant? I think we actually are. What's the British Republic's trade policy right now? It's protectionism. Interesting. I wonder what that will look like. Okay. Settle down. Two arms. That's the war in Africa popping off. Alright, we've got 100% strength here. We'll deploy these units there so that we can keep up the momentum. We've annexed fascist Lithuania. Pretty alright strength ratio here. This battle is just about finished. Come on. I know they're in a controlled retreat, but there we go. Brilliant. Alright, so that army is on the way there. And then we'll move the 9th Turkish Army in there. And we will set the home counties as the strategic objective. And there's the election once again. So in this case, the rural folk have formed a fascist party, and... Oh, interesting. So the petite bourgeois and the armed forces want to be part of it. But we don't need that, so we can... No, we'll keep the rural folk in where we are, because we've got... it's good to keep those forces nearby. Oilers in default. Strength comparison is actually pretty moderate here. We've had a long naval invasion. We are getting beaten back here. But that's okay. Actually, we can grab the 8th Turkish Army and put them in position. And then, I think if we grab the Rumeli Ordusu and put them over here, that'll be fine. Oh, this is a situation. Oracle of Fars Treaty Port. If we help them against the French, decline. Okay, so what is this? France is trying to make Scotland a protectorate. If I step in there, I'm really, really gambling about my ability to win while I'm at war with Britain as well. France and I are natural allies, so I might need to just let Scotland go. Despite my... The temptation is very high, Scotland, but let me try to win my war against Great Britain first. Let me at least get to later in the cycle and get more armies committed. Nah, I got too many forces actually physically in Great Britain to be able to do this. I've got a land border with them, and I need to be able to deploy units to it on short notice. So I think actually we're gonna have to let Scotland go. It's a shame because I've been wanting Scotland for my protectorate for a long time in the course of this war, but Great Britain still thinks they can win this war, which is very funny to me. We've got a very solid strength ratio here. Strength comparison, 51 at this point, so I suspect we'll for sure win. But we'll see. We'll see if France can really win against Scotland. A little bit of a thing going on there. All right, at this point, I think I'm going to stop bankrolling Hyderabad, but I am going to improve relations with them. I'm also going to improve relations with Maguindanao, who is our recently recovered puppet, and who we are currently fighting for in Britain. We still have the petition going. So I'm going to leave them in the government for now, because I can't boot them, or else that'll create a giant problem. If I just let it time out, it'll be fine. You know, the Sovereign Archduchy is grabbing some of this territory from Mexico. But at this point, I think we're going to have to put a pin in the episode. Wow, this has been a gigantic episode, actually. I went way too long. So, wow, that's going to take some time to upload. Been having some trouble with upload time. Alright, well, we'll get this war done either really fast or really slow. We'll see. But for now, I've had fun. I hope you all have had fun, and I will see you on the other side.